back to the Talmud Lunch Learn. I want to thank Ed for securing our delicious lunch today and for our very lively conversation prior to going live online. So to all of our friends online, thank you for joining us. And we're sorry that you're not here with us because you missed like the first 45 minutes of our discussion. And now we're going to go live a little bit to share just a thought from our Talmud. We're on Tractate Shabbat, page 10b. And just want to remind everyone that this class meets at 12 o'clock on Fridays here in Houston at the Torch Center. And you're always welcome to be part of this class. So the Talmud says like this. The Talmud says that having previously cited one law reported by Rava bar Mechasya in the name of Rav Chama bar Guria, who heard it from Rav, the Gemara cites several teachings that have the same attribution. Okay? So just an important thing. If you collected all of the names that are written in the Talmud, instead of just stating facts or saying someone said, and you go through all the names, right? You see Amar Rava bar Mechasya, Amar Rav Chama bar Guria, Amar Rav, right? So that's like a line and a half of precious Talmud space. For what purpose? Why do we need all the names? You know why? Because Torah without a source would be terrible. Right? We need to have the source for things. Okay? So either way, and it would probably fill up 2 or 3 books. I would want to do a study on how many pages of Talmud it would fill up just collecting all of the names of everyone who said it in the name of someone who said it, who heard it in the name of someone else, in this and this person's synagogue, or in that person's, right? Okay. So he said the following thing. One who conveys a gift to his friend must inform him about it. And this we've discussed in our other classes, that if, for example, you're walking into the Torch Center at night and you see that one of the cars parked in front, David's car, has the door open, right? Or it's the light is on. And you see that the driver's door wasn't closed all the way. So you just like push it in with your hip, you push the car in, and now the light turns off. When you do a kind deed, when you give a gift to someone, when you do something kind for them, you have to let them know. Shene'emar, because the verse says, "V'adas ki ani Hashem mekadoshchem," as it is stated, to know that I am Hashem who makes you holy. Right? And our sages explain, what's the explanation? In the beginning of the verse, God commands Moses to instruct the Jews to keep the laws of Shabbos. This part of the verse thus means, tell them that I want to sanctify them through giving them my holy Shabbos day. God made a point of telling the people through Moses that he was giving them a gift, the gift of Shabbos. And this was also taught in a Brisa, Ladas, to know, Ki ani Hashem mekadoshchem. The scripture states, to know that I am Hashem who makes you holy. Amar la Kadosh Baruch Hu Moshe. The Holy One, blessed is He, said to Moses, Matana tova yesh li bebeis knesai. I have a wonderful gift in my treasure house. V'Shabbos Shema. And Shabbos is its name. Ve'ani mivakesh litla liyisrael. And I want to give it to the Jewish people. Lech v'hodiem. Go inform them. Mikan Omer Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. From here, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel taught us that hanosin pas latinok, one who gives bread to a child, tzarech lahodia le'imo, must inform the child's mother of this gift. You have to inform them. Why? My avidle. What does he do to the child to ensure that the parents become aware of this gift? Amar Abaye says, Sho'ef le mishcha. He rubs an oil on him between his eyes. Umali le kuchala. Right? And applies cosmetic paint to him around his eyes. So the parents are going to see it. They're like, what's that? So, right? So the parents have to know. You can't just give the child the bread without the parents knowing. The parents have to know. The Gemara inquires, but nowadays that we are concerned about the practice of sorcery, and the parents might think that someone had practiced witchcraft on their child if oil or paint was applied to them. What alternative method can be used to inform the parents of the gift? The Gemara answers, Amar Papa said, Sho'ef le me'osen hamin, right? He rubs the child with some of the type of food he is given to him. So he puts some bread on his forehead or something between, right? On that oil, right? And that way the parents will see that there's bread there. Like, how did that happen? Like, oh, Alex, right? He'll tell him, Alex gave me some bread, right, today. So the first thing we need to understand is that the Almighty gives us a gift, right? The Gemara doesn't elaborate much on this gift, but it says a great, great gift that's hidden in my treasure house. What's this gift that's in a treasure house? In God's treasure house. So what type of gifts do you put in the treasure house? If you go under the palace of the Queen in England, hidden in the treasure house, that's where you have all of the crowns of the Queen and the King, right? You find all of the great jewels. You have unbelievable treasures, but that's hidden in the treasure house. They don't put that in the front window. That you hide. God says, I have a special gift in my treasure house, not one that's open to the world. That means to tell us that if you really want to find the treasure, you have to really inquire within it. It's not going to be displayed with a tag, its value. Shabbos is not something which externally you can just say, oh, that sounds like a great idea. No. That's a really beautiful thing. No. Shabbos is one of those things that in order to understand its greatness, you have to really look closely. You have to practice it closely. You have to take the time to experience what a Shabbos is and experience what it means to disconnect from this world, to reconnect. Right? We disconnect physically to reconnect spiritually. You can't have a connection spiritually with God if we're completely immersed in a physical world. So that's why the Torah tells us a very interesting thing. The Torah says, Sheishes Yamim Tavot, 6 days a week, work and toil. Work the land, work the physical, work the mundane, work work your job, go earn a living. Uv'yom hashvi, on Shabbos, on the 7th day, Shabbos LaHashem Elokecha. It's a day of rest for you to connect with God, your Creator. It's a day which is way above all the other days. And it's not only because, let's do a matching game. God rested on the day of Shabbos, so we'll also rest. No. God says, this is the day I stopped all of creation so that I can connect with my creations. You know, it's a very interesting thing. You know that, you wouldn't invite someone to your house for Thanksgiving or for Shabbos dinner and tell them to come and then start setting the table. Right? Mm-hmm. Come 7 o'clock and 7:15. They're there. Thank you for joining us.
I've never been to my house.
Not
my wife.
Right, because it's your job to set the table.
No, I do it.
No, but
No,
our
he doesn't
house,
do it.
everybody shows up, and then we set the table.
Oh, come on,
in
Dave.
Not our house. I'm talking about where I grew.
Where you grew up.
Oh, your mother's house. Well, I guess you waited for all the help.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So,
Everybody else
but
to
the,
do
but
it
the
for.
truth is, we make sure that before our guests arrive, we set the table.
Right.
It's a very interesting thing. If you want to know the most important part, it's not what happens in the beginning. It's what happens. Who comes last? Who comes right before? And it's an amazing thing. God creates light and the dark, the waters, the earth separates, all of the great amazing things. And then what's the last thing that God puts into this world?
Man.
Mankind. He says, all of this was for you. And what happens immediately after that? Shabbos. God says, this is the state I want you to be in. A day of perfection, a day of connection, a day of absolute closeness with the Almighty. That's what Shabbos is about.
So the people that show up last are the holy ones.
Well, that's usually what happens.
Like you're always here last.
That's not for the same reasons. But I'll tell you why. I come to this class so that everyone can eat and everyone can have an appetite.
Things are set.
You don't want to eat in the middle of the Talmud class. 1 second, what does Rabbi say? Right in the middle of biting on your pizza, you want to finish your meal, right? And then you can. But the truth is, if you think when a president comes or a queen comes, you have all of or a wedding. when does the bride and groom? It's very interesting. By my wedding, please don't hold this against me, but by my wedding, they wanted to have the kids go with the flowers. What do they call them? The flower girls
Flower
and this
girl,
and that.
ring-bearer
I
girl.
said you can bring whoever you want down that aisle,
I'm last.
but no one between me and my bride.
Right.
Yeah.
No one in between. You can bring them before, you can bring them after. I have no problem, but no one in between.
That's right.
I just didn't feel it's like you walk down the chuppah, the next person walking down the chuppah should be your bride, not 14 different people groups, the
Correct.
grandmother and the sisters and the brothers and the this and the that. Come before or after, but not in between. I didn't feel that it was right. So either way, if you wonder who comes first, like when you have an event with the Queen of England. So what happens? So the Queen of England doesn't just walk in first and then wait for everyone to come in. First, they welcome in the
Prime Minister.
the Prime Minister, all the people from Parliament, and the mayor, and this and that, and all these lower level people, and then they bring in the Prime Minister comes in, right, and then they welcome in the princes, and then last is the Queen. Last is the Queen. Guess what? God ushers in everything in creation. The last thing God brings in is is mankind, because God says all of this world that I created for mankind. I created all of this for mankind. I want mankind to enjoy from this world. We have to understand, and then what comes after that? Shabbat. That means the purpose of all of creation is not so that we work. It's not so that we toil. It's so that we take the time to invest in our relationship with God. That's what a Shabbos meal is. That's what Shabbos prayers are. And you know what? If you ever need, right, a vacation, right? Think of a vacation. I remember I was sitting with a bunch of CEOs, and they're all talking about what their ideal vacation was, right? They remember they were saying, you know what? A day without my fax machine, without my emails, without my secretary telling me about my next meeting, a day without my, right? That's a vacation. Without my cell phone, right? That's a real vacation. I'm like, voila, what is Shabbos?
Yeah,
what is
all of
Shabbos?
that, yeah.
That's exactly what Shabbos is. Shabbos is we turn off the world and we just have time to spend with our family, time to look at our spouse in the eyes and our children and play with them and sing with them and dance with them and eat with them and feast with them. That is what Shabbos is about. And it's built in. The problem is that any time, it's like, there's a rabbi who said, there's one time every day that there's a mitzvah to eat. Anybody know when that is? There's one time a day that there's a mitzvah to eat.
It's the morning, isn't it?
Morning.
First thing.
There's a mitzvah to have a meal every morning. It's called pat shacharit, which is morning bread. There's a mitzvah every morning to eat bread. And why is that the least eaten meal? Because you make it a mitzvah. Nobody wants to do it, right? If it wasn't a mitzvah, right? There was a great rabbi. I know the rabbi, and he said, "When is the last time you heard of a guy in yeshiva who says, 'No, I don't want to eat'? The only time is when you make it a mitzvah." Right? If you don't make it a mitzvah, of course, everyone's there to eat. No problem. I'll eat any time. So you're talking about guys in high school and guys in post-high school, and they'll eat voluntarily any time. You make it a mitzvah, well, everyone has excuses. Now why they don't want to eat, right? Shabbos is a special time. God says it's a special mitzvah to eat on Shabbos. It's a special time to disconnect. And that all of our blessing, all kihi mikor habracha, the source of all of our blessing comes from Shabbos. It's the most remarkable thing. I had a woman who came to me. I was sitting with a great rabbi who was visiting in Houston. He was a big rabbi. Came here to give blessings and to connect people many years ago. So this woman comes and she says, I want a blessing for me, for my children, for my grandchildren. He said, and he gave her a blessing. He said, what's your name? What's your children's names? He was asking all the names and gave blessings. So she says, I also have a business. I need a new business. I want you to give me a blessing for my business. So he asked her, where's the business? So she said, it's in Tel Aviv. She owns a clothing store in Tel Aviv. So he said, is it open on Shabbat? She said, yeah. So he says, how can I give a blessing? He says, how can I give a blessing when the very Torah that tells us that the source for all blessing is Shabbos? If you're working on Shabbos, you're not allowing blessing into your store. I'm going to give you a blessing opposing that. Right? So I had a guy who came over to me. He says, Rabbi, I don't understand. He says, I work at the malls. In the malls, the greatest day for business is Shabbos.
Yeah, that's right.
The greatest day for business is Shabbos. So I can't keep Shabbos. I can't. It's impossible for me to keep Shabbos. So I said, let me tell you a story. It's a true story you should know. Okay, David, this is for you. It's a true story. I'm not going to mention the name. Some of you might know who it is, right? And I wasn't authorized to give the name, okay? But it's a family that owns a very, very big mall. They own the mall. And they work 7 days a week. And this is before they became Shomer Shabbos. The husband started keeping Shabbos already, and the wife would go shopping on Shabbos. She says, the only day I'm working the other days of the week. They have blue laws where they were, and the blue laws means you can't be open on Sunday. So the only day for her to shop, and she's not working, is Saturday. She says, I need to shop. And she goes to her husband, to her family's mall, and she goes shopping in Bloomingdale's and in Nordstrom and in Neiman Marcus, and she goes to shop in all of her great upscale shopping opportunities in that mall. So her husband says to her, if the malls were open on Sunday, would you shop on Sunday? So she said, absolutely. Absolutely. He says, what's more precious than Shabbos? Nothing more precious than Shabbos. I'm going to have to figure something out. So he went to all of the anchor stores and he said to them, what would it take for you guys to be open on Sunday? They said, Sunday, blue laws. Blue laws. You can't. He said, now what's going to be if you're open anyway? Well, we'll get fined by the city. He said, and what's if you get fined by the city? It's going to be an expense. He says, and how about if I guarantee you that I will pay those fines? I'll pay the fines. Right? You be open on Sunday, I pay the fines. I don't know if I'm willing to take the risk. I don't know if I want to get in trouble with the city. And it goes, it's like, I don't know. He says, listen, how about I'll pay all of the expenses to keep the store open on Sunday. I'll pay not only the fines, whatever expense it takes for you to have the store open, right, on Sunday, I'm willing to take it. Not only the fees, not only the penalties. They said, okay, we'll try it.
And let us buy wine.
And they come on Sunday, and the store is open, Macy's, and all these stores are open. The big ones are open. And who comes there? The city guy comes, and he's starting to give out fines. They said, no problem, bill us. The landlord is going to pay the bill. Oh, you can't. We have blue laws. They said, okay, so give us the penalty, give us the fine. The next week, the little stores say, 1 second, we're losing out on the action. Sunday you're open, we're all open. The next week, all of the stores are open. The whole mall is open. And the city saw, we're going to run around giving penalties. Everyone wants to be open, right? We're going to be open on Sundays, right? And they removed the blue laws from the city.
Like here, they don't, like on Easter, the whole entire galleria is shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I go there early and walk on Sundays with all the older mall walkers. I go, I never heard of this.
Right.
An entire galleria, everything is closed unless you want to go in one of the hotels.
Right.
I never knew that. I've
Right.
lived here many years.
So here they were able to persuade. Right, with how much is it? It cost $1,000 of fines, $2,000 for fines for Shabbos. They pay $100,000 in fines. It's fine for Shabbos. For one Shabbos, it says that the reward for one Shabbos is greater than all of the rewards of everything you can possibly imagine.
But how did opening on Sunday
State law.
Because-
affect Shabbos on
because-
Saturday?
Because people didn't need to shop anymore on Saturday, because
They
now
could-
the store
they
was
could do
open
it
on
on
Sunday.
Sunday.
That's right.
I mean, I
Exactly.
don't know
The
why.
showman.
They were able to keep Shabbos. And he said from that point on,
That's what
right,
I
at
did.
that
voting
point on,
day
his
is
mother started
Saturday.
keeping Shabbos.
Notice that? This
Right.
local-
Oh, it was so his mother
local
could shop on
election
Sunday.
Saturday
Now I
night.
understand.
And it
Would have been a better trick to have them close on
They
Saturday.
had to keep
Well,
out.
The whole
maybe right.
mall,
You
right?
can switch it out for Shabbos laws, right? They
You
have
know,
the blue laws and they have the
Chick-fil-A
Shabbos
is
laws.
always closed on Sunday.
Right.
I gotta
It's the wrong day of the week, but it's fine.
Explain to me why on Sunday,
One thing, we have to
the
finish
liquor
up here.
stores are closed, but you can buy liquor at the grocery stores.
You can
can
buy
buy
hard
beer.
liquor.
You
You can
can-
buy
and
beer.
You buy
and
wine.
Buy beer and
You can
wine.
buy beer.
Okay, so the
Afternoon.
Gemara now continues.
Lunchtime.
One second. We're going to finish up here, if you don't mind. I need to ask you something right after, so if you can just hold on 1
So
minute.
we'll wait and wait.
The Gemara inquires, but nowadays that we are concerned about the practice of sorcery, right? So we said, what do? Right? He says, what do we do in that situation? Amar Rav Papa, Sha'yiflame osen hamin. You rub the child with some of the type of food that you're giving him. The Gemara challenges the preceding ruling, namely that one who conveys a gift should inform the recipient about it. Eini, is this so that you should inform the person? V'amar Rav Chama bar Chanina, Rav Chama bar Chanina said, Hanosin matana l'chaver ein tzarich l'odio. One who gives a gift to his friend does not need to inform him. So we have a contradiction from another source. Shenemar u'Moshe lo yada ki koren or panav v'dabro ito. As it is stated, and Moses did not know that the skin of his face had become radiant when he had spoken to him, meaning the Almighty. When God spoke to him. The Gemara answers lo kasha. Over there it's not difficult. Ha b'milsa davido ligluye, ha b'milsa delavido ligluye. This statement of Rav Chama deals with a gift that is likely to become revealed in any event, right? In such a case, it is not necessary to inform the recipient. But in the case of the child, the brisa regarding that gift, or the brisa regarding the gift of Shabbos, deals with the gift that is not likely to become revealed, unless the benefactor informs the recipient. In this case, it is proper to inform the recipient about the gift. Right? When no one's going to know that you did this fine deed. So we're going to go into this. Next week we'll continue more about this piece of Talmud. But the question really is, why is it so important to inform them? The quick answer is because that will only expand the amount of love in the world. If you know that I went out of my way to help you, without you knowing, without any fanfare, without anything, I'm just going to inform you that I closed the car door for you. I did, something to help you out, right? What you're going to say, you know what? That's so nice. It's so kind. The more love you display for other people, the more love they will return it. There'll be more love in the world. And kumbaya, everything will be great. My friends, sorry that this is so short, but we started really at 12 o'clock, and we had a very long discussion here, a very fiery, vibrant Shabbos discussion.
And yet a better status of gift giving is when you do it anonymously.
That's true, but this is here where we're doing someone a direct favor, right? Let them know. Let them know that you cared about them. Let them know that you did something special for them. All right? My friends, have a good Shabbos.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.